know. Oui. Okay. So, Paris v Milan. Do I sound French? I don't even know. Okay, so Paige and I's hypothesis is, would it be more cost efficient to go to Paris or to go to Milan? And we hypothesized that it would be more expensive to go to Paris for spring break, therefore it would be more cost efficient to go to Milan. So we used the same assumptions for each country, for France and for Italy. So we couldn't find the spring break that was for 2020, so we used the 2019, the most recent one. So we looked for March 2nd to March 8th for travel days, and we looked for one adult economy ticket, and for both of them we used United because that's the one we just picked, I guess. And then so we fly out of LAX because it has the best, it's more common for like flying out of the country to use LAX. So we're flying out of LAX, and then we're using hostels because if we're assuming that it's going to be us going, so it's going to be like a struggling college kid going, so we're going to use hostels because it's cheaper. And then we're not going to use there's not going to be any parking payments either.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Paige. For Paris, our round trip with United Airlines on March 2nd would be $641, and then it would also have one stop in Newark Liberty Airport, which is in New Jersey. And then like the takeoff in LA is at 6:30, and you would arrive at 6:55 a.m. on March 3rd due to like how long of a flight it is in Paris. And then for the cost of living, we chose this particular hostel because it had like the best prices as compared to others in the city. And it's the Absolute Hotel Paris Republique. And we'd be staying there from March 3rd to the 7th. And the cost per night is $31 with an added VAT of 10%, which this would add $4 to the cost. And then we chose to do the continental breakfast, which is also $9 added to the overall cost per day. So for the duration of the 5 nights, this would cost $31 plus the $4 for the VAT plus the $9 times 5 for each of the 5 days. And that would total to $220 for the cost of living for Paris. And then for the cost of food, we had to translate euros to US dollars, and €1 is 1.12 US dollars. And we chose Ventre, which is a cafe restaurant that's like close to the hostel, and it's like approximately a minute walk from the hostel. And we chose the particular dish, gnocchi gire sage, whatever that is. It's butter sage gnocchi, and it costs €8. And then in US dollars, this would be 8 times 1.12, which equals 8.96. And 8.96 times 5, since we'll be eating there every day, would equal $44.80 for lunch. And then here is the little cafe. It's very cute, and that's the dish because probably no one's heard of it, but yeah. And then here is dinner. We will be eating at Tien Hang, which is a vegetarian place, and it's close proximity to the hostel as well, and has very affordable prices. And a lot of their items were around €7, so like the salade de pape and ravioli grillés, and then this salad as well were all €7. So we did 7 times 1.12, which would equal 7.84 in US dollars because of transferring it into US currency. And then the overall cost for this, assuming that we will eat here 4 out of the 5 dinners is $31.36. And then for the last night, we assumed that we would be eating out at a luxury restaurant by the Eiffel Tower. And this was the Brasserie de la Tour Eiffel. And the average a la carte meal costs 20 euros, and translating into US currency, this would be 20 times 1.12, which is 22.40 US dollars. And then for transportation, the only cost for transportation would be getting to and from the airport. And due to the hostel being around 18 miles from the airport, it would be like costly either way. So we chose the taxi, which is 48.35 euros. And it has an initial fee of 2.60, and then a metered fare of 45.75 due to the distance. And then translating this into US currency, it would be 48.35 again times 1.12, which would equal 54.15 for one way, and then you're going to be taking it twice, so that would be times 2, which equals $108.30. And then for tourism costs, we chose the Eiffel Tower, which is obviously the biggest tourist attraction in Paris, and a ticket to visit each of the 3 floors of the Eiffel Tower costs $19.40 in euros. So in US dollars, it would be 21.72. And then it's about 5 miles from the hostel. So we also had to find a taxi price. So I used the Taxi Fare Finder website, and overall it would cost 29.01 in euros, where there's an initial fee of 2.60 and an additional metered fare of 26.41. And then translating this into US currency, it would be 26.41 times 1.12, and this would equal 29.58 times 2 due to the round trip, which would add up to 59.16 in US currency. And then for extra spending money, we assumed that like we would use like $100 for like souvenirs and shopping and like other stuff. So overall, this would be a cost of $180.88. And then, yeah.
So for our second country, we did Milan, and we did a round trip with United Airlines that started on March 2nd, and we left LA at 9:15 a.m. and we had a layover in Newark Liberty Airport in New Jersey for a few hours, and then we went back on the plane and we arrived at 8:25 a.m. on March 3rd in Milan, Italy. So with the round trip and with the layover, it ended up being $920 for the flight for one person in economy. For the cost of living, the cheapest hostel I could find was Hostel California, which we would arrive on March 3rd, so March 3rd to March 8th. It would be $78 for 5 nights, and the 10% BTA would be included in that $78, so we didn't have to use that for calculations. There was a $2.23 city tax per person, and then there was a $2.68 bed linen fee per person per night. And then there was also the option to add a breakfast to your payments, and it was $2 for an addition for each night. So for the calculations, we did $78 plus 2.68 for the bed and linens times the 5 nights that we were there, plus the 2.23 city tax per person times the 5 nights that we were there. which equaled $102.55. And then we ended up doing for food, lunch, and dinner because the breakfast was already included in the hostel. So we had to do a bunch of currency changes. So we did €1 equals 1.12 US dollars. So all of the numbers that we found, we ended up having to change. So there was a cafe called Upcycle Milano Bike Cafe, which was 9 minutes from the hostel, so it was easy access. And so you take a nice little brisk walk in the morning, and it was an average of like $9.50 in euros for lunch every day. And so we times that by the amount in US dollars, the 1.12, which equaled $10.64. And then we times that by 5 days, assuming that we were going to Upcycle Milano Bike Cafe every day for lunch for the 5 days. And that equaled $53.20 for lunch all week. For dinner, we had to do the same currency changes for the €1 equals 1.12 US dollars. And we went to Star Rise Restaurant. It actually looked really good. But this was 7 minutes from the hostel, so it was easy access as well. It's just a nice little brisk walk. We're trying to save money. And the cheapest thing on the menu was a tagliatelle bolognese, which is €8. It's €8. And so we times that by the currency change of 1.12, which equals $8.94. And so it cost $8.94 for dinner every night. So then we times that by the 5 nights that we were there, assuming that we were going to Star Rise every night for dinner. And that would equal $44.70 for dinner for 5 nights in Milan. For our transportation, the biggest issue was that the transportation they have there is cheaper options, but it was all in French. And so I feel like as a tourist, like if it was me going and I don't understand French, I don't want to get lost. So we ended up using the taxi system, which was a little bit more expensive. So the hostel in Milan was 48 minutes away from the airport, which means it was 63 kilometers. And then to like change that into miles, it was 39 miles away. And so according to numbeo.com, a taxi fare for 39 miles is about €73.73 euros. And so we times that by the 1.12 currency change, and it was $82.57 one way. So then we times that by 2 to get $165.15 for a round trip. And then we assumed that there was no other transportation required for the time that we were there, except for when we do the tourist day, but that's coming up right now actually. So according to my research, the most common place for people to go to be kind of like touristy is Duomo di Milano, which is kind of like a cathedral with beautiful art and architecture, and it's 7.2 kilometers away, or 4.4 miles. And so the tickets on sale were actually half price, and so it was €4. I think it's normally €8, but when I looked it up, it was half price, so it was €4, and we times that by the currency change, which was 1.12, and that equaled $4.47 for the ticket to go to Duomo di Milano. And according to numbeo.com, 4 miles is about 12.05 in euros. And so we changed that with the currency change, and it was $13.50. And then we times that by 2 for the round trip, which was $26.99. So we also assumed that you would want some like extra spending money, and so we did 89.43 euros for your spending fee for the week, which was $100 when you add the currency change. So you had $100 for extra spending money.